Deep within the wild heart of Transylvania, shrouded in mist and legend, stood the ancient Temple of Shadows. Time had worn its stone face, leaving it etched with the passage of centuries and cloaked in an unsettling silence. Locals spoke of the temple with hushed voices, their words heavy with fear and warning. They wove tales of a darkness that lingered within, a malevolent energy that clung to the weathered stones, waiting to ensnare unsuspecting souls. The temple, they whispered, was a place of nightmares. Those who dared to enter its crumbling walls were tormented by visions, haunted by the echoes of lives long lost. But whispers, like shadows, could be deceiving, their forms shifting in the darkness, or so thought the few souls brave enough to dismiss the local tales as mere folklore. Dr. Elias Stein, a renowned historian, scoffed at superstition. Armed with his intellect and skepticism, he ventured into the heart of the temple, seeking to unravel its secrets. The air inside was heavy, thick with the scent of decay and something else, something ancient and unwelcoming. Elias, though, remained undeterred, his eyes gleaming with scholarly fervor as he examined the crumbling inscriptions that lined the walls. That night, as exhaustion claimed him, Elias succumbed to a restless sleep within the temple's cold embrace. The nightmares began subtly at first, whispers at the edge of his consciousness, shadows dancing at the periphery of his vision. Then they descended upon him, vivid and horrifying. He saw flashes of the temple's past, rituals bathed in blood, sacrifices made under a moonless sky, and eyes gleaming with an unholy light. Elias awoke with a gasp, drenched in a cold sweat, the remnants of the nightmare clinging to him like cobwebs. He tried to dismiss the experience as a trick of his imagination, a byproduct of the local tales seeping into his subconscious, but deep down, a seed of unease had been sown. He was no longer alone in the temple. Whispers followed him, ghostly voices that seemed to emanate from the very stones themselves. He began to see fleeting shadows, figures that would vanish as quickly as they appeared, and the nightmares, they grew more vivid, more terrifying with each passing night. Driven by a mixture of fear and morbid curiosity, Elias delved deeper into the temple's history, seeking an explanation for the horrors that plagued him. He uncovered fragments of a forgotten cult, their existence lost to time, their practices shrouded in darkness. Section 4. The Nightmares Take Hold. News of Elias's haunting experiences spread, drawing in others like moths to a flame. A paranormal investigator, Dr. Anya Volkov, arrived, her skepticism masked by an eagerness to confront the unknown. A young psychic, Marius, drawn by a vision, joined them, his youthful face drawn with a premonition of dread. Each night within the temple walls, the nightmares tightened their grip. Anya, armed with her EMF readers and EVP recorders, documented every spine-chilling whisper, every unexplained temperature drop. Marius, his eyes glazed over, spoke of tormented souls seeking release, their voices echoing through the ages. The temple, it seemed, fed on their fear, growing stronger with every terrified gasp, every whispered prayer. Section 5. Descent into Madness. As the days bled into nights, the line between reality and nightmare blurred. Elias, his initial skepticism replaced by a raw, primal fear, became withdrawn, his eyes reflecting the horrors he witnessed in the dark. Anya, her scientific mind struggling to rationalize the unexplainable, felt her resolve crumble. Even Marius, the young psychic who had walked into the heart of the temple with such unwavering certainty, now trembled, his visions growing darker, more ominous. One by one, they succumbed to the temple's insidious embrace. Their nights were filled with visions of unspeakable horror, their days haunted by the lingering dread that they were not alone. The once grand temple, now an echo chamber of their collective fear, seemed to contort around them, its shadows deepening, its whispers growing louder, more insistent. Section 6. An unsettled silence. Then, as abruptly as it began, the silence returned. The nightmares ceased, the whispers faded, leaving behind an unsettling emptiness. Anya, her face pale and drawn, gathered her equipment, a haunted look in her eyes. Marius, his youthful exuberance replaced by a weary wisdom, turned his back on the temple, a silent prayer escaping his lips. And Elias? He was never seen again, his fate another mystery claimed by the Temple of Shadows. The temple still stands, a monolith of stone and shadow, a silent sentinel guarding its secrets. But now, the locals say, the whispers have returned, carried on the wind, a chilling reminder that some places are best left undisturbed, their mysteries never fully unveiled.